We are live here. Can we go live here? Good now, beautiful souls. Oh, what did I miss? What did I break? Oh, okay. It's okay. Good now, loves. Who do I see? Hale. I really love that name. Belinda, Soul, Justin. Change your picture, your baby picture. Verna, good now, love. Jamie, good now, love. Who has popped in? Anika, good now. I love that emoji. The hand emoji just makes me smile. Good now, beautiful soul. Good now, beautiful soul to you. How's everyone feeling? Good now. I know there's a lot of people on this time of day. I looked at it, I was like, oh, there's a lot going on today. Good now, Joyce. Namaste. Who else has popped in? Good now, Jamie. Jamie says, good now, Nicole and all. And I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I love when y'all speak with each other. Good now, Paul. Hiya. Hiya. Hey now. Good now, Stephanie. I love it. Really great start today. Feeling good. Awesome sauce. I like it. I like it. Like it. Mine started off very slow. I woke up at 5 and then I just laid there and then I got up and did my meditation and I laid there some more. I got up and did a workout and then I finally came downstairs and started working on my presentation for Wednesday. By the way, if anyone wants to attend my presentation, this is my capstone project at the end of my master's program. Let me know. Send me a message and I can send you the Zoom link. And I'll just give it some time. How's everyone else feeling? I'll give it a couple minutes. Allow people to mosey on in. Is that Daphne? Good now, Daphne. I love it. Who else did I saw another bubble. That Christina. Good now, love. And some flowers. Good now, Jordan. I see anyone else? Awesome. Good now, love. Helen. Good now, love. Good now. I love the rose. One of my favorite flowers. Favorite scents. I also love honeysuckle. That's like a nostalgic scent. Summer Star. Good now, love. Joyce says, doing well, retesting my mom's sister's, her locks and getting my son to take a screen break to do some writing. I love that. I'm good, love. How are you, Summer Star? It's been a moment. Good to see you as always. I love it. I love that you do locks. I love faux locks on me. I just also love combing my hair when I finally take them out. Good now, Natalie. Good now, Helen. Locks are absolutely beautiful, though. Love it. Have I got everybody? Make sure I said good now to all the love bubbles. You're good. Awesome. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I forgot to add the streaming stream on here today, so I won't be on the sub, but not live anyway. But yeah, I do post up there every now and then. All right, anyone new here? We are on chapter 20 of 21 in this book. If you've missed any of the earlier chapters, by the way, thank you for the hearts. Whoever's loving on me, I'm love on you back. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I love these. I have on purple pants today, so I was like, why don't I wear purple earrings? um, what was I talking about? The book. Oh, if you if you were not able to join for any of the chapters, whether it be all the first 19 or just a few here in between, you can find the replay on my YouTube channel. I did create a playlist specifically for the book, so it'll be easy to find. Um, so if you need to go back, even if it's just to review, feel free. It is there for you. Not heard of this book? Oh, you will love it. Helen says, sending you light and peace today, Verna. Oh, Verna, did I miss something? Are you not well? Yes, the tubular. Sending light to you too. Last week we talked about achievement and vocational goals. It was interesting. The week before that we talked about relationships. Today we're talking about the chapter 20 is Physician, Heal Thyself. And this is one of my favorite chapters in the book. There's a lot of great information in this book. It's life-changing. Wendy, she'll be on at 11. This is her normal day to pop up. She's on at 11 today, so I know we'll be going during that time, but if you ever are able to catch her, she is such a fun and great teacher here on IT. And she was actually going to read the book, and then she happened to see that I'm already reading the book, so she's like, once you're done, I'm going to also read it. And I was like, cool. So I think that'll be really cool, because while the book has changed both of our lives, I'm sure it's touched us differently, so the conversation will be different. So that'll be really, really interesting if I get to pop in from time to time when she's doing it. Good now, Misha. So that said, this book is, what's cool about it, I think this is the one I was talking, I refer sometimes when he's talking about his eyesight, and he well, we'll read the chapter. Get reading. Are there any questions or any new revelations from any of the previous weeks that anyone would like to discuss before we hop in, or have a question or anything? Good now, Octavia. Because if not, who else is going to read the book? Wendy. Let me see. Let me grab her card. Miss Wendy. She pops in here from time to time. She'll probably still be on when we're done today, but this is her. And good now to whoever is on the tubular. I see you over here. The window's over here. All right, so this week, I'm giving you my typical caveats. Although this one is not so much, but this book will hold a mirror up to your face. So if you've never read it before, just brace yourself with a lot of compassion and understanding and love, because it puts things in front of you that makes you take a look in, which is why I love the book. So that said, while today I don't think there's so much of that in this chapter, I always want to just let you know that I am not a licensed mental health professional. While my work does complement that work, and I do work with trauma, please do what you need to do to take care of yourself. If that means stepping away from the live, please do that. Otherwise, you can also post in the chat. The community here is so loving and so supportive. So if you ever are feeling like some type of way about yourself, please let us love on you if you're open to that. Also, again, while I don't think it's going to be so much in this chapter, he sometimes uses examples to explain a concept, and sometimes they're a bit dated. And I just ask you to take it for what it's worth, because it's still a good lesson in it. What are you saying, Joyce? Elis, or is that sometimes an L and an I on text will look the same? So I don't know if she's saying Lisum. Do educate me, please. So, Physician, Heal Thyself, chapter 20, and I will just hop right into it. Per the request of the audience, as things come to mind while I'm reading, I may pause and give some commentary, because I was holding it to the end and people were like, no, just say it. And I'm like, all right, well, here we go. So here we go. By popular request, the personal experience of self healing has been shared many times at lectures, talks, and workshops. Everyone seems to want to hear the story over and over again of how a physician was healed of many diseases. Therefore, this chapter will relate the highlights of recovery and healing because they illustrate in detail just how the principles and techniques we have been talking about actually work at the pragmatic level. Lived experience and clinical observation confirm that the majority of human disorders are susceptible to being cured by following certain principles. Many diseases can be reversed unless there is a strong karmic dominance to the contrary. Paradoxically, those serious cases, where all hope has been given up, often respond promptly and give the best results. This is perhaps because the person has finally let go and is now sweetly reasonable. They are ready for what Thomas Kuhn calls a paradigm shift. That is, a willingness to see things differently from an expanded perspective and to be open minded. Sometimes it takes chronic sickness, suffering, pain, and a confrontation with the fear of death before a person is willing to let go of cherished beliefs and open up to the truth of clinical reality. Basic principles. This chapter details the healing recovery from a multitude of physical illnesses in the life of a physician. We will delineate the basic principles that facilitated the process of self-healing. In doing this, there will be a review of some of the material we have already covered so as to bring it together into an integrated overall experience. We will start with the basic working concepts. A thought is a thing. It has energy and form. The mind, with its thoughts and feelings, controls the body. Therefore, to heal the body, thoughts and feelings need to be changed. What is held in mind, not held, H-E-L-D, in mind, tends to express itself through the body. The body is not real itself. It is like a puppet controlled by the mind. Beliefs that are unconscious can manifest as illness even though there is no memory of the underlying beliefs. An illness tends to result from suppressed and repressed negative emotions plus a thought that gives it a specific form, i.e., consciously or unconsciously, one particular illness is chosen rather than another. I had a conversation yesterday. I was at, you'll know we're reading today because yesterday I was at a day retreat, and one of the ladies, she teaches breath work. She was talking about her dad. She's like, my dad eats clean. My mom cooks for him. They live in Colombia. She's like, he's always working out. He's in shape. And then he got colon cancer. And she's like, it's because he never expressed any emotions. He always suppressed everything. Because outside looking in, like everything else was good. He had a great relationship with his wife. He ate well. He worked out. Like he did all the things. He checked all the boxes. Good now, Debbie. But not expressing, not releasing your emotions can take a toll. And like I said last week, they are asking your organs, you're asking your organs to hold on to energy they were not designed to hold on to. Okay, back to that. Thoughts are caused by suppressed and repressed feelings. When a feeling is let go, thousands or even millions of thoughts that were activated by that feeling disappear. Although a specific belief can be canceled and energy to it can be refused, it is generally a waste of time to try to change thinking itself. We surrender a feeling by allowing it to be there without condemning it, judging it, or resisting it. We simply look at it, observe it, and allow it to be felt without trying to modify it. With the willingness to relinquish a feeling, it will run out in due time. A strong feeling may recur, which means there is more of it to be recognized and surrendered. Okay. I was trying not to stop again. One of the examples I use, if you've ever had like this ugly face cry and it just feels like you're going to be crying forever and then all of a sudden it just stops. And like there was nothing you did, it just stopped. It's the energy ran out. So that was for the bullet previously. And then this bullet, when he's talking about there's more of it to be recognized and surrendered, I hear a lot of times people are like, I thought I worked through this. I thought I handled this. Good now, Karma. Good now, Rhonda. And yeah, you may have. However, we are layered. We have so many layers. It means that you didn't get all of it at that time, and it's okay. So don't judge yourself. It's not like you did anything wrong. Good now, Tammy. It's just that there was more of it to come to be healed, and that's totally fine. It's totally normal, especially if you're an adult, like, and have gone through a life. Like, there's just going to be things. Good now, Jessica. Welcome. In order to surrender a feeling, sometimes it is necessary to start by relinquishing the feeling that is there about the particular emotion. That too, i.e., guilt that I shouldn't have this feeling. That happens so much. Good now, Nancy. In order to relinquish a feeling, sometimes it is necessary to acknowledge and let go the underlying payoff of it, i.e., well, he says, e.g., the thrill of anger and the juice of sympathy from being a helpless victim. Feelings are not the real self. Whereas feelings are programs that come and go, the real inner self always stays the same. Therefore, it is necessary to stop identifying transient feelings as yourself. Let's see. And by the way, that's capital S, self. Ignore thoughts. They are merely endless rationalizations of inner feelings. No matter what is going on in life, keep the steadfast intention to surrender negative feelings as they arise. Make a decision that freedom is more desirable than having a negative feeling. Choose to surrender negative feelings rather than express them. Surrender resistance to and skepticism about positive feelings. Relinquish negative feelings, but share positive ones. Part of that is, remember, feelings, thoughts, words, that's energy. So if you're sharing negative stuff, you're rippling that into the world in collective consciousness. Everything we do affects everyone. So being able to release the negative feelings. I get that sometimes you may need to talk through some things. The container in which you do it is important. So I just wanted to share that too. Notice that letting go of accompanied but a subtle overall lighter feeling within yourself. Notice that letting go is accompanied by a subtle, just making stuff up. Notice that letting go is accompanied by a subtle overall lighter feeling within yourself. Relinquishing a desire does not mean that you won't get what you want. It merely clears the way for it to happen. Get it by osmosis. Put yourself in the aura of those who have what you want. Like goes to like. Associate with people who are using the same or similar motivation and who have the intention to expand their consciousness and to heal. Be aware that your inner state is known and transmitted. The people around you will intuit what you are feeling and thinking even if you don't verbalize it. Persistence pays off. Some symptoms or illnesses may disappear promptly. Others may take months or years if the condition is very chronic. Let go of resisting the technique. Start the day with it. At the end of the day, take time out to relinquish any negative feelings left over from the day's activities. You are only subject to what you hold in mind. You are only subject to a negative thought or belief if you consciously or unconsciously say that it applies to you. I like that statement because when someone gets offended by something, I'm like, the only way you can get offended if there is some part of you that actually believes it. Because otherwise you would just dismiss it. It would just go over your head, water off your back. So if you ever feel some type of way about a comment, that is an invitation to look within. It's like, what about this is making me feel like this? It's not a time to judge. It's just a time to get curious. Stop giving the physical disorder a name. Do not label it. A label is a program. Surrender to what is actually felt, which are the sensations themselves. We cannot feel a disease. A disease is an abstract concept held in the mind. We cannot, for instance, feel asthma. It is helpful to ask, what am I actually feeling? Simply observe this physical sensations such as tightness in the chest, wheezing, a cough. It is not possible, for example, to experience the thought, I'm not getting enough air. That is a fearful thought in the mind. It is a concept of whole program called asthma. What is actually being experienced is a tension or constriction in the throat or chest. The same principle goes for ulcers or any other disorder. We cannot feel ulcers. Why do I not like that word? Ulcers. We feel a burning or piercing sensation. The word ulcer is a label, and a program, and as soon as we use that word to label our experience, we identify ourselves with the whole ulcer program. Even the word pain is a program. In reality, we are feeling a specific body sensation. The process of self-healing goes more quickly when we let go of labeling or giving a name to the various physical sensations. The same is true with our feelings. Instead of putting labels on names and names on feelings, we can simply feel the feeling and let go of the energy behind it. It is not necessary to label a feeling fear in order to be aware of its energy and relinquish that energy. Okay, the healing of multiple diseases. After I burp. Excuse me. Water. Been drinking a lot of water. Yesterday's heat bout took me out. Okay. In the case of this physician, there were so many illnesses all at one time that it was impossible to remember them all. When giving a lecture, it was necessary to list them on an index card. All of the following illnesses were occurring at age 50. Migraine headaches, chronic and frequent, blocked eustachian tubes, painful earaches, nearsightedness and astigmatism. Trifocals were prescribed. Sinusitis, postnasal drip, allergies. Dermatitis, various types. Gout attacks, necessary to carry a cane in the trunk of the car and to have a restricted diet. Cholesterol problems, further restrictions in diet. Duodenal ulcer, chronic and recurring for over 20 years, unresponsive to all medical treatments. Pancreatitis, intermittent attacks precipitated by the recurrent of ulcer. Gastritis, hyperacidity, intermittent pylospasm. Pylospasm. Lord have mercy. Therefore, further diet restriction. Colitis, recurring. Diverticulitis, an appendicitis type condition of the colon, sometimes hemorrhaged, requiring hospitalization and blood transfusions. Common problems at the lower end of the gastrointestinal tract, scheduled for surgery. Arthritis of the cervical spine, displacement of the fourth cervical vertebrae, low back syndrome necessitating chiropractic treatment, vibration disease, Raynaud's syndrome, yes, I got that, loss of sensation and impeding gangrene in fingertips due to loss of circulation, middle age syndrome, coldness in hands and feet, loss of energy and libido and depression. I do not know this word. Pilonidal cysts at base of spine, curable only by surgery. Bronchitis and chronic cough aggravated the headaches. Spondylosis and low back syndrome. Poison ivy sensitivity, skin broke out every year, sometimes required hospitalization. Athlete's foot, this was the belief system that it came from hotel room floors. Dandruff, there was a belief system that it came from being in a barbershop. Inflammation of the cartilage, a word I cannot pronounce. I'm going to put it in the chat, but it is a syndrome that starts with a T, and I'm just not going to butcher it. Oh goodness, I forgot it. When you copy from a Kindle, it puts the whole citation there. Okay, if anybody knows how to pronounce it, feel free to spell it for me phonetically. I would say sightsees, but I don't know. A rare disorder with painful swelling of the junction of the rib and sternum, that's here. Dental and gum problems, loss of bone across the base of teeth, surgery was recommended for the gums. Overall energy imbalance. Kinesiologic testing revealed that all of the energy systems were out of balance and every meridian tested weak. In retrospect, it is mind-boggling how the body kept going in the world and functioned as well as it did. Inasmuch as each of the disorders required a further restriction in diet, there were times when lettuce and carrots were about the only safe foods. This led to a loss of 25 pounds in a body that looked thin and haggard. Later, some friends revealed that they had made bets on how long the body was going to last. Goodness gracious. Most of them estimated that it would probably keel over at about age 53. The inner question at the time was, how could a successful, highly educated professional functioning creatively in the world, leading a balanced life, who had been thoroughly psychoanalyzed and experienced many modalities of therapy and healing, still have so many physical ailments? Yes, there was a large workload, but it was a balanced and with physical exercise and creative work such as carpentry, masonry, woodwork, and architectural design. Moreover, the spiritual life was active, with 2 hours of meditation every day before and after work. Sounds like he does TM. The endless techniques mentioned in the introduction were investigated: self hypnosis, macrobiotics, reflexology, iridology, polarity therapy, affirmations, astral projection, group intensives, body work, relaxation, and so on. What was the answer to this strange paradox of someone who had tried a multitude of techniques, groups, and therapies, but who still had a staggering array of illnesses? Also, how was it that he operated so successfully in a world despite this long list of illnesses and the constant pain that went with them? The answer seemed to be a very strong will. It carried him through all obstacles and had the power to push aside anything that interfered with that effective functioning. In this case, primarily feelings. With that kind of willpower, when a feeling was suppressed, it stayed suppressed. Good now, Robin. Robin says, hi, fine friend. The scientific ideal is objectivity. Objectivity means an absence of emotion. The achievement of this ideal in clinical and scientific work necessitated a suppression of feelings. This was especially intense given the nature of the clinical practice, which was severely ill people. The extent of their suffering and that of their families seemed nearly endless. It went on relentlessly, day after day, year in and year out. The intensity was compounded by having a compassionate nature and being attuned to people's suffering. The mounting pressures of suppressed emotion in all areas of life obviously contributed to the multiplicity of illnesses. At a certain point, both the mechanism of surrender and A Course in Miracles were investigated and applied to daily life. Because of the busy work schedule, there was very little time for any new techniques. Happily, the workbook of A Course of Miracles required the simple contemplation of a sentence or lesson throughout the day. The power of this technique is the alleviation of guilt by utilizing the mechanism of forgiveness. The mechanism of surrender could also be done silently throughout the day as an inner process. The two tools worked together. Surrendering and forgiving went on simultaneously during the day. Once the mind knows the way to alleviate its inner pressure, like Pandora's box, it begins to let all of the garbage up, and it came up in profusion. Thoughts and feelings which had been hardly noticed at the time of their occurrence now returned. Life had been so busy that there had not been the time to handle them. The decompression process began to unfold on its own. One immediate discovery was that every negative feeling or thought is associated with guilt, and this guilt is so all-encompassing that it is constantly being suppressed. Thus, there is no such thing as just anger. The actual feeling is anger guilt. There is guilt every time we have a critical thought about someone, the mind's constant judging and criticizing of the world, its events and people. It's an unending source of guilt. Guilt itself engenders negative feelings, and negative feelings in and of themselves also engender guilt. It is that deadly combination which pulls us all down and creates such widespread illness and unhappiness. The guilt is so omnipresent that no matter what we are doing, we feel somewhere in our mind that we should be doing something else. We have lived with so much guilt for so long that we don't even recognize it anymore, and somehow that guilt is projected by the average mind onto the world around it. That is why most people need an enemy, an object on which to project the inner guilt. It is also where tyrants get their power, by manipulating people's guilt and finding a satisfactory target for it. There was also the discovery of a disdain for feelings. Anger surfaced at the imposition of feelings, which can make a person feel like a victim. To a left brain orientation, feelings were the opposite of reasonableness, logic, and rationality. Superimposed on this was the male chauvinist idea that emotions were for women, children, and artistic types. Feelings had been primarily a matter of intellectual understanding and clinical analysis. When they came up internally, they had been labeled, pigeonholed, and filed away. At the beginning of working with this letting go technique, there was a period of rebellion and actually hating the feelings and expressing dread over having to deal with them. It seemed degrading to have to suffer through them. This required a shift of self-concept because of the strong identification with the intellect. Now, like it or not, it had to be acknowledged that everyone is a thinking, feeling organism. It would not work to keep denying reality. Before long, it was okay to have feelings. With the letting go technique, the only way out was to acknowledge and relinquish the feelings. This became easier as the physical condition started to improve. Although it can initially be difficult to face feelings in ourselves, the light at the end of the tunnel had shown itself, and this engendered hope. Within days of using the technique, the physical conditions at the lower end of the GI tract promptly healed itself, and, in fact, the surgery was canceled. Many of the symptoms that had been active for years, even decades, began to diminish in intensity and frequency as the months went by. Migraine headaches, in particular, became less and less frequent. Lower back pains disappeared. The body began to feel lighter and stronger. Then, an unexpected crisis came that brought intense emotional pressure. The diverticulitis returned in a severe form with massive hemorrhaging. There was an inner decision of great magnitude. Either this stuff works or it doesn't. So this time, instead of going to the hospital and getting transfusions, there was a complete surrender. All of the sensations going on in the abdomen were acknowledged and not resisted. They were not given a name or a label. Instead of thoughts or words, there was a sense of oneness with the sensations, the cramps, and the pain. There was no resistance to the sensation, no matter how intense it was. So just caveat this, please do not try this at home. If you do, just know, have someone like on speed dial. Good now, Caitlin. Good now, Jeffrey. Who else has popped in? I missed it. Susie. Good now, Susie. And whoever was on the other platform, good now to you. Thank you. We have 6 folks over there. Like being on a razor's edge, every sensation and feeling was recognized and surrendered. This went on for 4 solid hours. At the end of 4 hours, the bleeding stopped, the cramps went away, and the diverticulitis was healed. Later, there was some minor recurrences, but each one was handled in the same way, and eventually the attack subsided and disappeared. So the mechanism of surrender passed the acid test. It succeeded where everything else had failed. With continued application, other disorders began to fade away. Good now. Headed to work. Have a beautiful Sunday. You too, Daphne. Enjoy work. Over time, the experience of knowing replaced thinking. Knowing comes on in a totally different manner. It is just standing there for our recognition. One morning upon waking, there was the knowing of being cured of poison ivy. At the same time, it was obvious that the very name, the label, poison ivy, was a program and a belief that in and of itself. I read that sentence wrong because I didn't know that was going to be the period. At the same time, it was obvious that the very name, the label, poison ivy, was a program and a belief in and of itself. In any case, there was a knowing of being immune to poison ivy. Where am I lost my place that quick. Oh, even when going outside, touching it, playing with it, and putting some of it on the flower pot to carry to an interview program that evening. The subject of the interview was the power of consciousness in self-healing. Another episode of knowingness occurred one day when, unexpectedly confronted by intense insecticide fumes. Oh, it happened when confronted. I keep thinking the sentence is going to go past that, so I'm like, my inflection is off. Let me reread that. Another episode of knowingness occurred when one day when unexpectedly confronted by intense insecticide fumes. Such fumes had been a severe allergy for many years and invariably triggered a severe migraine. On this particular day, however, there was the sudden knowing of immunity to fumes. Walking into a recently fumigated home and taking very deep breaths of the fumes without any consequences at all, a sudden elated feeling of freedom prevailed. Sounds insane to me. It's very brave. But that knowingness is something. I'm sure you've experienced that knowingness in some area of your life, and so you can kind of relate to this. Or you may have experienced this very thing as well. If you do, please do share. I'd love to hear it. How wonderful to be free and to experience the power of mind. It was obvious in that moment that we are only subject to things that we hold in mind. It is not necessary to be a slave or victim in the world. The same thing happened with a long-standing belief about elevated cholesterol. As the belief and concept of it were canceled, eating dairy products was resumed with no negative impact on cholesterol. In fact, blood testing showed a progressive lowering of unhealthy cholesterol levels. That's because it's really sugar that creates that cholesterol, that fake sugars and stuff, but that's another conversation. But seriously, this proves a point. Moreover, food intolerances and allergies disappeared. It took at least another year, however, for the sugar intolerance and functional hypoglycemia to disappear. For a period of time, it would still recur under periods of stress, especially physical exertion, after eating sugar and sweets accompanied by caffeine. In the meantime, it was impossible to return to a regular diet after many years of severe restrictions. How freeing. I was like, that doesn't make sense. Let me reread that. I just made up my whole word. I just read what wasn't there. Okay. In the meantime, it was possible. I said impossible. It was possible to return to a regular diet after many years of severe restrictions. How freeing to eat food with seeds not allowed with diverticulitis. All the foods that were supposed to be contraindicated for ulcers and colitis, and even hot fudge sundaes. It took a couple of years for the functional hypoglycemia to disappear, but eventually it was possible to eat all of the sweets that had been forbidden for years. The whole middle age syndrome was a belief system as well. As this belief system was canceled and surrendered, the coldness disappeared from the hands and feet. The fatigue, mild depression, and irritability also disappeared. Physical stamina increased and the tolerance for physical work became almost unlimited. Now that the more major things were out of the way, some of the minor ailments were consciously addressed. The belief of pilonidal disease, I don't know how to say that correctly, was surrendered. If someone wants to look it up, I will put it in the chat. I probably know, but I'm not positive and don't want to make it up. Because it put the whole citation. Okay. Good now, Farisha. And Jeff. And Calvin. And Sherry. I think I got everybody. All right. In 6 weeks, it disappeared. The eustachian tube, which always blocked when flying in airplanes, also caused severe pain in the right ear. It took 2 years to correct itself. There was a continual letting go of all thoughts and feelings about it. At the same time, the use of visualization in which the angle of the canal with the right ear temple bone was pictured as changing to a normal angle. My mouth is so dry. This was the only ailment with which visualization was used. At the end of 2 years, the ailment disappeared, and there was never any further difficulty in clearing the ears with changes of altitude. Water. I need water. It makes me think of a SpongeBob episode. Okay. I think I see bubbles I have not said good now to. But my buttons are not working. I thought that was you, April. I was like, this looks like April's picture. Good now, April. Good now, Anne. In the meantime, you're saying it correctly. Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate you. Pilonidal. Nidal. Is that an I or E? E sound. Thank you. Good now, V. Good now, Miss April. And I think there's another one here. Anthony, good now, love. Okay, in the meantime, the neck pains were progressively disappearing, and this made dancing possible. While dancing and surrendering any resistance to the neck pain, soon the body began to automatically put itself into self-healing postures and movements as though there were an inner chiropractor manipulating the spine. Justin says, I need it. What do you need, Justin? It was an uncanny sensation, as though invisible healers were realigning the spine. As this was going on, there were changes in circulation occurring in the hands and feet, and they were no longer cold all the time. The vibration disease in the fingertips, which had been threatening gangrene now, reversed itself. The pads of the fingertips swelled back out and turned pink again. The burning pain in the fingertips disappeared. Sensations returned. Up to that time, the fingers had become so numb that it was not possible to turn the pages of a book. I understand that. As the more serious ailments were healed, there was the energy and time to look at even more minor issues. Referencing the SpongeBob quote. Dance therapy. I know, right, Jamie? Yes, 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 yes. Um, there had been a long standing belief that people catch dandruff in barbershops. When that belief was surrendered, the dandruff disappeared. A similar process occurred with the belief that correlated athlete's foot with hotel room floors. Upon continual cancellation of that belief, athlete's foot disappeared. At Thanksgiving time one year, there was the opportunity to test the technique in an acute situation. A huge log dropped onto the foot and broke all the bones across the whole foot. Instead of rushing out to get a cast, the letting go technique was used. By Christmas, it was possible to return to the dance floor. At a later time, a severely sprained ankle healed itself in minutes by instantly surrendering the pain. I remember this chapter and I was just like in awe. I had used it a couple of times, like when I was experiencing Raynaud symptoms, like I shared with another live when I was in the Grand Canyon in February, and it was snow, like a lot of snow. But good now, Katie. Good now, Leanne. Healing of vision. This is the one that like sticks out to me, like that has stayed with me over this since I last read this book forever ago. One evening, while giving a lecture on the mechanism of surrender and making note of all of the above healings which had been experienced, a member of the audience said, "Doctor, if you healed all of those ailments, like even broken bones, then why do you still wear glasses? Couldn't poor eyesight be healed the same way?" Well, I never thought of wearing glasses as a disease. I always thought of it as an anatomical structure defect of the body. But now that you mention it, I don't see any reason that shouldn't heal either. I feel like when he did his inner ear thing, that was kind of an anatomical thing. Good now, Laura. So, the bifocals were removed and stowed in a coat pocket. Indeed, at that time, eyesight was declining to the point that trifocals had been prescribed and ordered. In leaving the lecture that evening, the same inner knowingness came that the condition would heal itself with sufficient faith and trust. Driving home without glasses, vision was blurred. The pace was slow, with headlights on the curb. There was an inner knowingness that we would always see what we needed to see, but unable to see what we wanted to see. During the next 6 weeks, a great deal was observed and learned about what goes on behind our everyday ordinary seeing. There is a whole myriad of feelings, varying from curiosity to competition to erotic interest to intellectual titillations. Titillation. Is that the word? I love that this guy challenges my vocabulary. Hold on. Or at least how to say things. It's not a word that I use, ever. So here we go. I appreciate y'all learning with me. Okay. Good now, Solomon. Good now, Tori. Titillation? Is that it? Okay. Only about 5% of our vision is absolutely necessary to function in the world. That feels so scary to me. But I've been using that because I've noticed my ear, like things are starting to be a little bit blurry, and I'm like, nope, and I refer back to this chapter. Anyway, a peculiar phenomenon occurred. Only that which was necessary to see was seen. Reading newspapers and magazines, watching television, or going to the movies were all impossible. It became clear how most of our vision is merely escapism. On the road, it was as if Mr. Magoo were behind the wheel. Anybody know who Mr. Magoo is? If not, it's okay. Good now, Vic. I do know who he is. I am old enough. Again and again, that same mysterious phenomenon would occur. As soon he was so funny. Yep. Yep. As soon as it was vital to see something, that's when it would be seen. The edge of the cliff was made visible just as it was necessary to see it. Y'all, that's so scary to me. There was a great deal of anxiety with a constant surrendering of fear. Finally, by the end of 6 weeks, the fear seemed to run out. Instead, a deep surrender took place. Well, I will only see that which I am allowed to see. The other emotional objectives which seeing had subserved up to that time were willingly surrendered. Then, a profound sense of inner stillness and peace occurred, and a feeling of oneness with whatever it is that runs the universe. And in that instant, suddenly, vision returned totally and perfectly. What had not been visible or readable now was crystal clear. Street signs, fine print, in dim light, objects in great detail across the room and at great distance. At the next eye test for a driving license renewal, the evaluator said that the vision was perfect and that glasses would no longer be required. This had never occurred on any previous eye test. Since telling this story around the country, quite a number of other people have taken off their glasses and gone through the same experience. Interestingly enough, each one said it took about 6 weeks. One of the people who accomplished this decided to put his glasses on again. When asked the reason, he said that his wife was so used to seeing him with glasses that he looked homely without them, so he put on blank ones in order to please her. He did it just because he loved her and wanted to make her happy, which is a very different reason than having to wear glasses because of impaired vision. Those of us who have had the experience of healed vision agree on one discovery. It is with the mind itself that we see, not the eyeballs. Recently, one of the cases was a woman who had been blind since shortly after birth and had gross derangements of both eyeballs. After hearing the lecture on recovery of vision, she pursued a medical protocol and practiced the letting go technique on her sight. Within 2 days, she began to experience a return of vision. She came up after the lecture and said, "I know you're right. I know that one sees through the mind because that is what is happening to me. I am seeing, and I am seeing with my mind." To understand how all of these healings came about, some of them verging on miraculous, we have to revise many of our thoughts about bodily processes, the mechanisms of healing, and how medical treatments bring about their results. It was discovered that there is a self-healing power within that is activated with continual surrender. Laura says, I've been told since I was 26 years old I was nearsighted. I never wore glasses. My eyes adjusted. The few times I wore them, my eyes adjusted to needed them. I still don't wear even when needing to read small print. Yeah. Yep. You're a bit skeptical. Play with it, Justin. She was blind shortly after birth. Just saying. I would say do it in a situation that's safe, not if you're about to like drive near a cliff. That takes a lot. I feel like he learned how to surrender way before he got to that. So he was well practiced in that. That's the end of that chapter, by the way. What are y'all's thoughts? And then the last chapter is questions and answers. And we can actually knock that out today if you would like. It's not a very long chapter. But before we hop on that, any thoughts other than Justin's skepticism? My eyes have changed from nearsighted to far. Interesting. You know what I've been told about my eyes is I have one is nearsighted and one is farsighted. Wendy! You go on in 2 minutes. What are you doing here? Good to see you. I did let folks know. I was like, Wendy will probably still be going once we're done, so we can hop over there. I'll try walking around the house first. I'll test that out. Yep. Yes. Good now, Wendy love. Wendy is on at 11 for those who missed me saying that earlier. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's not my normal day. April says, I was about to say the same, Wendy. You gotta go. Oh, I love it. Hi, Wendy. Bye, Wendy. I love that. Oh, my goodness. Good now, you. Good now, Lisa. And so So what are y'all thoughts? Hi y'all, bye y'all. Bye Wendy. Good now, Lynn. And Diana, good now, love. Bree, good now, love. What are your thoughts on that chapter? Actually being able to heal. Like I said, when I was in the Grand Canyon whatever. So I experience, because he's like, don't label it. So if anyone's familiar with Raynaud's, Reynauds, it's poor circulation in like your fingers. We don't like, it just flares up every now and then. I'll be in the middle of summer and my fingers will go numb, and I just kind of accepted that that's what it is. But like, I forgot that he mentioned it in here. I did actually, when I was in Grand Canyon and it was snowy and I was walking, because my brain was clearly not working that day, and I was trying to walk back to Carly, I was trying to walk. So put it this way, I was in Sedona for a week, and to get back to the airport in Phoenix, or was it, I don't know, I had time. I was like, why don't I go up to the Grand Canyon while I'm here? And so February, it is snowing in the Grand Canyon. Okay, didn't know that. But so I got there and they're like, if you only have a short period of time, this is the best tour for you. So I got on the little bus and I went up to the spot where you could see, and I looked and I was like, that's not that far back to where I parked. Yeah, so I got off the shuttle. I was walking for quite a while, and at some point, only thing I had was a wonderful, beautiful scarf, and I did have my big poofy jacket, which that was great. I think I had gloves, but doesn't matter. Gloves never really did anything for me. So after being out there for a while, you can imagine my fingers were just, they weren't there. They were, I could see them, but I couldn't feel them. And so I used this. So I let go of the need to feel my fingers. I let go of the need for my fingers to be warm. I let go of the need to whatever. Like, that's what I was letting go. And the left hand cooperated really well. The right hand was very ornery. It took a little bit longer for the right hand, but it eventually, the blood came back in my fingers just by like letting that go. And then also still, I found a coffee shop and I was like, how can I get back to my car? So there was like a shuttle stop not too far. So I went to the bathroom, got some hot chocolate, and then waited for the shuttle to come and take me back. But because I thought I understood the map, but clearly I did not. V says, yep, I have it too, Nicole. When the temp drops below 40, it kicks in. Yeah, it'll kick in. Mine kicks in when I pull both hands for me too. If I have an orange in the fridge and pull it out and peel it, my fingers go numb. And it didn't used to be that bad. It has gotten worse, actually. Go in a grocery store, I try to get in and out because my fingers will go numb very quickly in there. So I'm going to revisit, personally, the letting go method for Raynaud's, and stop calling it that. I'm going to revisit the letting go method for tingly feelings in my fingers when they get really cold and lack of circulation, and just see how that goes. Good now, Rita. And I'm going to revisit or amp up the letting go method for vision, because I find myself like looking at small print like this, and I'm like, that's so rude. And that's funny because one eye, if I actually, sometimes what I'll do is I'll just cover the eye that is farsighted and just use the one that's nearsighted to see. But when I use both eyes, I gotta like hold it. It's so crazy. So I'm going to revisit that. If anybody wants to experiment that with me, let me know. And just let me just check in from time to time. I do have a group here on IT. So just let me know how you're doing with that. But any other thoughts? Do y'all want me to go through chapter 21, questions and answers? That will conclude this book, which is pretty cool. What says you? And then the next book will start on I think I said the 20, hold on. Let me not make up a date. July 11th is when we'll start back up. Let's go? I think so too. July 11th we'll start back up. All right. So chapter 21, questions and answers. I see some, is that a Bonbon's love bubble? Good now, Mac. It is Bonbon. Good now, Bonnie. Good now, Jess. I think I said good now to all the bubbles I can see. Justin says, we'll experiment with the vision. It would be nice not to reach over my bedside table for my glasses. Yeah. Yep. 6 weeks seems to be the average according to this. You missed it. You needed to talk to a friend in the. Hey, my love. It's totally okay, Laura. So this is basically, we went over, so the chapter title is Doctor Heal Thyself, I believe. Yeah, Physician Heal Thyself. And he listed, one, he went back over the principles of the letting go method, and he listed all the diseases, because this is a doctor that used to go and give lectures about how he healed all these diseases within him. My mouth is so dry. To include diverticulitis, which doctors will have you believing you can't get rid of. Colitis, same thing. So a lot of things, pancreatitis, ulcers. So it was just a bunch of stuff that he actually healed by letting go. He even actually broke his foot and decided not to go get a cast. He just used the letting go method, and it took about a month to heal. I'm like, I don't know that I can do that. But he did that. Also, when he had a diverticulitis flare up, the pain, usually he would get surgery for it, but he decided to not. So 4 hours of just intense sensations. He just let go of all the sensations, and eventually it went away, and it pretty much healed. He said it flared up maybe a couple more times, definitely not as intense, and he's continued to use the letting go method, and it's gone. And then this last part was 6 weeks to he was in trifocals, 6 weeks to perfect eyesight, just by using the letting go method. So that's what that chapter was about. But of course, you can catch it on my YouTube channel, the replay, once we're done here. So now the last chapter of the book, chapter 21, questions and answers, preguntas y contestas. Okay. And if anyone knows it in any other language, please do put it, and I'll say it. If Wendy was here, she'd probably tell me how to say it in Greek. Okay, chapter 21. Questions and answers. This chapter includes verbatim questions and answers from workshops and seminars that have been given around the world in recent years. Mind you, this book was published in 2012, so recent is not so recent right now. Good now, other Rhonda. Hold on, let me catch up. No need to apologize. Laura says, thank you. When my eyes are tired, my eyes can't see small print. Yeah, I got nothing. I don't think it matters if my eye's tired or not. So I'm going to work on that, though. Verna says, a complete surrender moment for me. When I was in labor with my son, he was 2 weeks late, and every time I had a contraction, his heartbeat would go off the monitor. Ooh, I know that was scary. The doctor and nurses were very worried, so I had my mom have everyone leave the room and turn off the lights to dim. My body was there, but I was not scared. I was just calmed, my body and mind. After an hour, the doctor checked on me and wanted me to push, and I had him in 2 pushes. He was bluish purple, and the cord was wrapped around his neck. They could barely get the scissors in to cut them. As soon as they got the cord cut, he pinked right up and was fine. That is amazing, Verna. Wow, wow, wow. I love the fact that you weren't nervous. The docs are like, can y'all please, y'all are not helping this situation. Remember earlier in that chapter, he's like, if you have, surrender the negative emotions, don't speak them. So you don't share it. No sharing. No, I'm kidding. I know sometimes you do have to talk through things, but like I said earlier, the proper container is very important as well. Good now, Sue. Thank you, Verna. That was a beautiful story. Rhonda, what'd you say sorry for, though, love? No need to apologize. All right, chapter 21. Good now, Carly. Chapter 21. This chapter, verbatim questions and answers from workshops and seminars that have been given around the world in recent years. In anticipation of the reader's questions, the most typical and frequently asked questions about the mechanisms of surrender have been included. My mouth is so dry. like, I can't say words that have a lot of like movement. Not that I can't, I'm having a hard time. And good now to those on the tubular. I can't see who you are unless you say something in the chat, but I'm glad you're here. Religious and spiritual goals. There are always a number of questions regarding the application of surrender to achieving what are generally referred to as spiritual goals, expansion of consciousness, and religious beliefs. We can answer many of these questions by making a general statement. The letting go mechanism does not conflict with any religion or spiritual pathway or self improvement program, nor does it disagree with any philosophy or metaphysical position. It entails no spiritual teachings of its own. Instead, it provides a mechanism so that self understanding removes the blocks to spiritual advancement. It is also compatible with the humanistic movement. All spiritual pathways and religions emphasize the need for expanding our capacity to love, and this is essentially what the process of surrender is all about. By removing the blocks to love, the capacity to love self, others, and God is expanded. Thank you for the thumbs up over there in YouTube. Surrender also facilitates the basic teachings of all the world's great religions. The essential goal of these teachings is to surrender the small self, commonly called ego. The letting go technique facilitates the goal of dissolving the small self by using a simple inner process of surrender. When the small self is transcended, the true inner capital S self shines forth. Let us, for instance, let us take, for instance, the most common short means of expression of this surrendering phenomenon as given by most religions. Typically, they follow this pattern. Let go and let God. Be still and know I am God. Turn your life and will over to the care of God as you understand Him. Surrender to what is, for God is in all things. It is obvious that letting go of negativity facilitates the very direction that all religions and spiritual pathways urge us to take. The process of letting go is concerned primarily with feelings, and we have seen that feelings have a profound effect on our thoughts and belief systems. The experience of most people who use the mechanism surrender is that it facilitates their spiritual and religious goals. Those who do not consciously have a religious or spiritual goal have remarked that it facilitates their capacity for lovingness, which substantially increases their happiness and well-being. Helen says, oh my God, I release what I've been doing wrong. I keep asking the universe for help. That comes from stating energy from lack. I need help. I need to ask for it. I need to change the energy of it and state my intention instead. I have all the help I need and drop the position of coming from lack. Of course, I'm being shown lack. It's what I have focused on. Duh. Oh my God. Helen, y'all, I'm telling you, every time Helen comes to one of these readings, she like a light bulb for her, and I love it. They're all of these are for her expansion, her evolvement, and it's just so beautiful. Good now, Michelle. Thank you for sharing, Helen. Yay! Congratulations to you. I look forward to what that brings you internally. Carl Jung pointed out that because God is one of the major archetypes in the unconscious, each person has to take a position about God whether they like it or not. Even the atheist has feelings about the concept of God. So whether God exists or not, the subject has to be dealt with sooner or later. Suppressing our feelings about God or consciously being overwhelmed by the subject is not a satisfactory solution. The letting go technique brings resolution to long-standing inner conflicts both to the atheist and the believer. Yee-hee. Thank you, V, for celebrating Helen. Question: what is the relationship letting go to the whole concept of sin? Answer: if we examine the negative feelings that we have been discussing and describe them in religious terminology, we see that what we have really been describing are the so-called cardinal sins. Inasmuch as the mechanism of surrender is a way of letting them go, it seems obvious that letting go of the attachment to these characteristics facilitates the achievement of religious teachings in our personal life. Question: I am not a follower of any particular spiritual pathway, but have my own personal pathway. How could this technique be helpful? Answer: without exception, all spiritual pathways are based upon a method of dissolving the ego. The ego includes the totality of our negative programs. Surrendering is the process par excellence for letting go of negative programs. It is, therefore, the best tool to facilitate spiritual understanding. Question: will this process interfere in any way with my faith? Answer: on the contrary. What are the obstacles to faith? You will notice that they are all forms of negativity. Consequently, letting go of negativity would be removing the obstacles to faith. Question: I am a non-believer, but I do have an interest in learning about spiritual matters. Would this approach be of any use to me? Question: answer. The mechanism of surrender is a tool only. You can use it to remove the obstacles of making $1 million, or you can use it to remove the obstacles to development of spiritual awareness. Most people who continually surrender report that they discover something within themselves akin to love itself, which is independent of the body, emotions, thoughts, and the events of the world. Have you ever heard of anyone becoming displeased by this discovery? Question: does the letting go technique contradict any spiritual or religious teachings? Answer: a study of the subject reveals that there is no conflict between the letting go of negativity and any spiritual teaching. Question: I gave up religion many years ago because it created so much guilt I couldn't handle it. What would be the effect of using the letting go technique? Answer: in clinical observations over the years, guilt emerges as the most frequent reason for which people give up their religion. It is because the goals seem unattainable. Ask yourself, what has made these goals seem unattainable? It will always be the disparity between what one is taught they should be as compared to what they perceive they really are. Instead of feeling guilty, try letting go of all of the negative feelings that come up, and wait and see for yourself what change of attitude might occur. Again, letting go is a tool. It can be utilized to facilitate your goals in any area of life. How you use it is up to you. A good place to start is to let go of all of your guilt, since it fosters an emotional environment for suffering and disease. Meditation and inner techniques. Question: how does letting go and surrendering correlate with the different meditative techniques? Answer: almost all meditative techniques have their goal has as their goal the quieting of the mind. This is the basis of the dictum from the book of Psalms: be still and know that I am God. As most meditators have discovered, achieving silence of the mind is the main problem of meditation itself. This is because suppressed feelings constantly produce thoughts, which are the main distraction in meditation. Acknowledging and letting go of the energy behind these suppressed feelings, therefore, facilitates the goal of meditation. When the feeling behind the train of thoughts is located and surrendered, then the entire train of thought instantly stops. By constantly surrendering, it is possible to arrive at an extremely silent state of mind. This can be accomplished as one goes about one's daily activities, thus greatly expanding the capacity to meditate. Most meditative techniques are limited to a specific number of minutes or hours during the day. It is possible, by constant surrender, to reach high states of consciousness. Question: I do not follow a spiritual path, but I do affirmations and visualizations. Will the letting go technique be of use to me? Answer: letting go greatly facilitates the power of affirmations. An affirmation is a positive statement. Its power is limited by the fact that, either consciously or unconsciously, we have multiple negative programs that are saying the very opposite thing to the affirmation. You can discover this for yourself by noticing that, as you write the affirmations, your mind comes up with "yeah, but." It is these "yeah, buts" that limit the power of the affirmation and reduce its effectiveness. If you surrender the obstacles to the affirmation, you will notice a rapid increase in their effectiveness. And I just got an idea of a live as I read that. Let me capture it before I forget it. All right. Psychotherapy. Question: I am in psychoanalysis. Would the letting go technique be helpful, or would it be in conflict with my analysis, which is getting progressively more expensive? Answer: therapists who have studied the technique agree with it. Many psychiatrists, psychologists, and therapists have learned it and utilize it in their practices. So far, we have heard only 100% positive evaluations of the results, because the so-called working through is facilitated by the patient's capacity to let go of negativity and self-limitations, which allows the therapy to move forward much more rapidly. Psychotherapists themselves have found that letting go has greatly facilitated their understanding of patients and the resolution of countertransference. If therapists know how to acknowledge and let go of negative feelings, then they can avoid the development of many stress related illnesses during the course of their practice. Thus, the technique is considered to be of assistance in psychotherapy, increasing its effectiveness and the satisfactoriness of its outcome. Question: I am in group psychotherapy. How would that work with the mechanism of surrender? Answer: just as in individual psychotherapy, the capability of surrendering one's inner negative feelings greatly facilitates group work. Question: I am a Jungian analyst. I know I'm saying his name wrong. Would this approach fit in with my work? Answer: through surrender, we can free ourselves from being at the effect of the archetypes. The archetypes are obviously a collection of beliefs and feelings and are, therefore, programs like any other. The individual who uses the mechanism of surrender to let go of programmed beliefs and feelings has the power of choice over the archetypal patterns rather than unconsciously being run by them. Alcoholism and drug addiction. And give me a moment while I drink a sip of smoothie and break my fast 18 hours later. Okay. So good. Alcoholism and drug addiction. Question: I am a member of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. Anonymous. I think it might be the lack of food. Also, the me. Anyway, and I would like to know if others in AA have benefited from this technique. Answer: the common experience is that the technique of letting go greatly facilitates working the 12 steps of AA, especially the third step. The third step states, made a decision to turn our will and lives over to the care of God as we understand Him. This very step is frustrating to many people in AA because there is no how to. Just how do you turn your will and life over to the care of God or some higher power? If we look at will, we will see that it is desire. This desire is connected to attachments. The mechanism of surrender, therefore, facilitates freedom from attachments and is almost equal to the third step in its intention. Surrendering to God means letting go of one's willfulness. Willfulness is the ego itself. The obsession to drink is a driveness, a compulsion due to an attachment. This can be weakened and lessened by the process of surrendering. Drinking is also an escape from the pain of negative feelings. Therefore, letting go of negative feelings decreases the psychological need for escape in that particular form. This applies to other drugs as well, which are all attempts to replace a lower feeling with a higher feeling. The letting go technique does not replace the need for self-help groups or for AA. However, it greatly facilitates success in recovery programs and is certainly compatible with all the anonymous groups, which are based uniformly on the 12 steps. Relationships. Question: I've been on a spiritual path for many years and do not understand why I still experience negative emotions. Answer: there's a common illusion that spiritually evolved, loving people never have negativity, as though they're already allergic. They get annoyed that they still have negative feelings, and then it's compounded by their guilt and self frustration. They have to realize that feelings are transitory, whereas their intention to evolve remains constant. Let go of ego. I'm just making up words now. Let go of feeling guilty that you are still just an ordinary human despite your angelic ambitions. Having compassion towards your innate humanness is its nervous system and the brain function that goes with it allows for greater equanimity. Heavenly ambitions do not necessarily make us angels. Question: I have a colleague at work who doesn't carry his load. Every time I see him, I feel resentful. Then I feel guilty for resenting him. How would I begin the letting go technique in that situation? Answer: we notice and accept what our feelings are about a situation, and then we proceed to clear them with a priority rather than indulge emotionality. In the workplace, many people think they should suppress their feelings of resentment. However, this approach does not handle the problem and the tensions will fester. With the letting go technique, go within yourself and acknowledge the negative feelings as they arise. Let them come up without suppressing them and without venting them. And then shift your attention from the feelings to something else. Let the feelings be there and let them go. Question. You recommend that we shift attention away from the negative feelings. How is that different from repressing the feeling? Repression is an unconscious process by which unaccepted feelings are put out of awareness and not dealt with. In shifting attention, you make a choice not to indulge the negative emotion. You have already acknowledged and accept the feeling within yourself as part of being human, but you are choosing to let it go because you want something higher, like peacefulness, harmony, and getting the job done. People will sometimes shift their attention by way of actions such as rearranging the furniture a little bit, opening and closing the window shades, making a quick trip to the bathroom, or going for a short coffee break. These actions allow for a moment to shift from the negative to the positive. Question. I notice that there are certain feelings that seem to recur frequently, even though I use the method with regularity. The frequent recurrence of negative feelings would indicate the necessity for a period of contemplation about recurrent patterns. For instance, the manner of handling negative emotions may follow parental or family patterns as well as cultural ones. There is a wide variation among cultures in how to handle feelings. So, look at the unconscious underlying patterns going on within your emotional response and let go of those patterns. Question. What if a negative feeling towards someone or situation persists despite my intention and effort to let it go? Answer. Sometimes one or more lesson is forced to surrender to a situation and presume that it's karmic. With spiritual research, one finds out that it is indeed karmic. Let's say you are paying off the karma of being mean to a lot of people. Now you get a chance to see what it's like to have people be mean to you. Sometimes the only reasonable thing left to do is to surrender to karmic patterns. You don't have to believe in karma as a religious doctrine in order to make this step. It's simply accepting the basic law of human interactions that what goes around comes around, and most of us have not always been saints. Question. I'm a teacher, and sometimes there are students who annoy me. As their teacher, I want to get over the annoyance so I can be helpful to them. What do you recommend? Answer. First, accept the fact that you're annoyed, and that's okay. It's okay to be annoyed. It's the price of human consciousness. Let the annoyance come up fully without calling it anything or making it personal. Instead of resisting it, ask for more of it. See that it's simply the energy of negativity. That observation depersonalizes it. Then ask yourself, are you willing to let go of this energy? Often, the energy will lift. Question. I have a good marriage, but there are moments of annoyance, frustration, and disagreement. How do I deal with feelings frustrated and annoyed? How do I deal with feeling frustrated and annoyed at my spouse? Answer. We've already said that it's okay to be annoyed. That is part of being human. What you do is become familiar with what the person is processing and their style of expression. There are often different attitudes and preferences. Very common differences are preferences over room temperature, volume settings, and how to spend money. The key is to let go of being judgmental of the other person's preferences or feeling prideful about your own as the right way. Each accepts the humanness of the other, that, of course, there are sometimes going to be different attitudes. Question. Such seemingly minor differences often lead to the downfall of a relationship because people blame the other person or want to change their behavior. How can they live peacefully instead? Answer. You just accept that all relationships have their ups and downs. You have to have a sense of humor about the human condition itself and its seeming contradictions and paradoxes. You want the other person to be happy and comfortable, and you know that you are happy and comfortable when they are happy and comfortable. There is a mutual alignment with a peaceful lifestyle. Let go of judging, blaming, controlling others. Let go of expecting them to be different than they are. We all have foibles. It can be sort of fun to make a list of your own foibles. There can be a decision not to focus on negativity in one's environment or a relationship. People can tolerate tensions and differences for variable periods of time and at different ages, you can tolerate things more or less. Question: what about the negative emotions that come up for parents when dealing with children? Answer: tolerance for children's behaviors varies depending on cultural context, gender, age, moral views, and other factors. You put up with things in kindergarten that you don't tolerate in third grade. It is common for parents to have let go of expectations of their children. What it's like for an expert musician to have a child with no musical skill or inclination. What is it like? Expectations are subtle pressures on the other person, who will then unconsciously resist. In parenting, you want to relinquish expectations and personal favoritisms. If you are an expert at billiards, can you let go of being disappointed that your kid is lousy at shooting pool? Another common issue is overparenting. Sometimes a parent confuses loving a grown child with um, bailing them out of every difficulty. At a certain age, sometimes love means tough love. That is, letting the child find his own way out of the mess he made so that he has the opportunity to discover his own inner resources. Question: if I let go of a lot of guilt, wouldn't that technique result in promiscuity? Answer: on the contrary, promiscuity is based on low self esteem, exploitation, and lack of love. The letting go of negativity and selfishness, concern for others, and heightened pleasure for their company, and higher self esteem changes one's perspective of relationships. The capacity for lovingness increases rapidly. Much of promiscuity is an attempt to overcome unconscious fears and seek reassurance. These can all be let go of so that more mature relationships can take place. Question: I have been going to sex therapy, which is based on behavioral retraining. Would this be compatible? Answer: there is no incompatibility. Behavioral retraining is an attempt to replace negative programs with positive ones. Essentially, it is replacing I can't with I can. That is what this technique of letting go is all about. Question: will the letting go technique cure impotence or frigidity? Answer: it is not a cure for anything. It is a self-investigation technique that rapidly opens up awareness of inner feelings, thoughts, and beliefs. Both frigidity and impotency are statements on the behavioral level of I can't, which in the unconscious means I won't. They are both resistance to joy, love, expression, and aliveness. The most common causes are repressed guilt, fear, and anger, emotions that spill out through the autonomic nervous system. Impotence and frigidity are expressions of conflict. Most people who use the letting go technique report overall improvements in their sexual life in a variety of ways, and many have reported recovery from sexual inhibitions. Likewise, many have also reported the relief from sexual excessiveness and excessive preoccupation with the subject. Question: how does the mechanism of surrender relate to the process of aging? Answer: it facilitates a graceful aging. Getting older brings a big change in your lifestyle. Often there is a decline in vision, hearing, and mobility, which means you're increasingly dependent on the care of others for things that you accomplished previously without a second thought. Old age can be annoying. Suddenly, you are incompetent in areas where you once excelled. As you let go of feeling annoyed, however, you see that the incapacities of old age serve a purpose. They get you ready to leave the world. If you were still involved as a star in some area of life, you would resent leaving the world. You wouldn't be very graceful about it. As you decline, it gives you time to adjust, get used to the fact that you'll be leaving, and do any spiritual work that you want to have completed by the time you leave here. When you surrender to the process of aging as simply part of the human condition, you come to peace with it. You become more loving and appreciative of other people's love and care for you. The more loving you become, you see that everybody is trying to be helpful to you. And it is loving to allow them to be helpful to you. People think, oh, I'm being selfish if I'm allowing someone to be helpful to my life. Actually, it's being generous. Generosity is the willingness to share your life with others. It's a gift to people to allow them to love you. The mechanism. Question: how can surrendering be more constant? Answer: The secret to using this mechanism more often and more consistently is, first of all, the wish to do so. That is step number one. You have to want to be free of the feeling more than you want to keep it. Sometimes it's just a matter of remembering, and you can use some kind of cue card to remind you. Another way is to establish a routine. It is very good to start the day by surrendering your thoughts and feelings about your expectations, to picture the way you would like it to go, and to let go of all negative thoughts that would interfere with the day going in that way. Then, at the end of the day, sit down and surrender anything that came up during the course of the day that you overlooked or didn't have time to pay attention to. This is called cleaning up, and most people find that they sleep better. Another way is to keep a notebook where you write down your successes. You might put down the goal of constant surrendering and follow it up with what the results were. Another way is to let go of your resistance to surrendering, and as you start the day, reaffirm your intention to let go of all negativity that day. You also reaffirm that you are free not to surrender. After all, it is totally a matter of choice. Let go of any feeling of compulsion about it. There isn't any should. Question: what do you think is the most frequent cause of our resistance to surrender? Answer: we think that somehow, if we hang on to that feeling, it is going to get us what we want. If we get stuck in a feeling, it is useful to look at the question of what we think we have accomplished by hanging on to it. We will almost find that we have a fantasy that it will have some effect on some other person and change their behavior or attitudes towards us. If we let go of that, we become willing to let go of the feeling. Question: if I surrender all the time, won't I just become passive? Answer: on the contrary, surrendering will clear the decks for effective action. Passivity is often because of inhibition and a failure to see alternate ways to handle a situation. For instance, a person will say, in the conference, he got me so mad, I just sat there and said nothing. Now it's rather clear what the problem is. The saying nothing was due to the anger in a person's picturing that the only emotional response he could make would be anger. Since this would be inappropriate in a business situation, he said nothing. Had the anger been let go, the person could have confidently assertive and stated his opinion instead of clamming up. Question: in therapy, I learned how to express anger, and I think it is a very useful thing. Do I have to give it up? Answer: if you look at anger, you will see that its basis is almost always fear. We get angry because we've been threatened. The threat arouses fear. The fear means we feel that we are unequal to the situation. Anger, biologically, is like swelling up to intimidate our opponent. Anger is coming from weakness rather than strength. The person who has surrendered this, therefore, relying on their strength rather than weakness. The person who has surrendered does not have to fall back upon anger to handle a situation. Also, anger cannot be counted upon. In addition, it has many destructive effects. For example, it is running you instead of you running it. A totally surrendered person is free to choose to express anger if they wish, but if it is done out of choice, not out of necessity. Anger, especially chronic anger, has deleterious effects on the body organs, and research in psychosomatic medicine has indicated that repressed anger is associated with hypertension, arthritis, and a variety of other diseases. And of course, if you're angry, you're not in your thinking brain. You're in your limbic brain. You're focused on surviving. So that's why it's not good to have conversations when you're angry. Because it's innate for us to just do anything to survive. Question: you mentioned that surrender is a natural psychological mechanism of the mind. If that's so, how come we have to learn how to do it? Answer: although it is true that surrender or letting go is a natural mechanism of the mind, it must be remembered that the mind has multiple conflicting motivations. Whereas one part of your mind would like to be free of the tension from a feeling, another part of your mind is programmed to believe that hanging on to the feeling will somehow magically bring about some desired end. Unless one is conscious and aware and has mastered that technique, The conflicts of the mind will overrule, and dominate. Basically, the technique of letting go gives you the power of choice over the tendencies of mind. Instead of being at its effect, the mind is now under your mastery. It opens up freedom and capacity for free choice. Question: I have a hard time with acceptance. What do you recommend? Answer: divert your attention to that which is really essential, experientially. Some days it rains, some days it's sunny, some days it's cloudy. You can't change the rain, but you can put on your raincoat. You can be realistic and take the necessary steps to remain dry. There are many aspects of life you can't change, but you can let go of your expectation or need that they be different from what they are. With observation, for instance, you will notice that there is always a war going on somewhere in the world. So to be peaceful, it is necessary to accept that waging war is part of human nature and has been throughout all of recorded time. Mankind has been at war 97% of the time. Question: I realize that fear and insecurity have driven me all my life, but it seems like those drives account for my financial success. If I learn how to surrender, will this adversely affect my income? Answer: when a lower motivation has been let go, the mind automatically replaces it with higher feeling and higher motivation. What's wrong with enjoying earning a living instead of being driven by fear? The same activity will continue, but now from a pleasurable space, and it will start bringing in many rewards other than just financial. Question: without guilt, won't people misbehave? Answer: similar to a previous answer, loving concerns for others replaces inhibition due to guilt. The more loving we become, the more harmless we become to others and to society in general. When you are lovingly concerned for the welfare of others, your own welfare will be taken care of and covered. Question: I have a poor memory. Do you think I could learn this technique? Answer: there is nothing to memorize in learning this technique. It is simply a way of letting go. As yet, we have not heard of anyone unable to learn it. Question: sometimes I think I'm letting go, and sometimes I'm not sure. I get confused. What is the problem? Answer: look at the resistance to the process of surrendering itself. Are there any negative thoughts, doubts, or feelings about your ability to do the technique? Let all of these resistances come up, accept them, and let them go. Clarify your intention to become happier, more loving, and a peaceful person. Surrender to the ultimate. Question: you've mentioned surrender at great depth as a method by which we experience ultimate reality. Can you describe what occurs? This is a long answer. Answer: we might call it the final run. As you apply to letting go technique to every area of your life, with exception, the energy of spiritual work gets stronger and stronger. Without exception, the energy of spiritual work gets stronger and stronger. There is the fixity of attention, the relentlessness staying within a method no matter what's going on. Some people say, I've done spiritual work off and on for 30 years and I'm still where I was. They've meditated a little more, a little there, prayed a little here, gone to a workshop, heard a speaker, read a book, and it has all been sporadic. That's all right. You're busy in the world and accumulating data that you know you're going to use at a later date. But then there comes a time when it means to do whatever practice you're doing without exception all the time. The devotion of the truth becomes overwhelming. It isn't that you're driving it. You're being pulled by your own destiny. It is by your own karmic commitment that you've chosen the ultimate destiny. At that point, let's say you use the technique of surrender. This means to surrender and let go of everything at the very moment it arises. It happens in 1/10,000th of a second. It's coming. It peaks and then it leaves. So for every feeling, every thought, every desire you let go at the peak of it. Oh, that was the sentence. So do it at the peak. This becomes continuous nonstop. As mentioned earlier, I remember letting go of a severe attachment for 11 days, sitting and doing nothing but letting go of this attachment. Every thought, every feeling, every memory, everything about it, as it rose, it was surrendered. The grief that we feel when we lose a member of our family is not just about losing that person here and now. It's an accumulation of the energy of all the deaths from all of the lifetimes. This particular surrender was nonstop for 11 days, morning and night. Finally, it stopped, gone forever, never again to be subject to that. So, serious spiritual work is a continuous willingness to let things go as they arise. It is the willingness to surrender wanting to control everything as it arises, the willingness to surrender wanting to change it and to have it our way. Very often, there will be illusions about the nature of reality that also have to be let go. That there's a good and a bad, a desirable and an undesirable, that's all in the mind. In reality, the sun shines and then the clouds come. The rain falls and the grass grows up and dies. The stock market goes up and down. Age comes and goes. People rise and leave. And so there's the ebb and flow. If you are at this one point of the cycle, there's no use in crying about it because the cycle will cycle itself out. By surrendering to whatever is cycling up, it eventually disappears. You disappear it by choosing to be one with it and refusing to want to change it as it arises. Do this continuously, no matter what, nonstop. This means that you cannot make an exception here or an exception there. It means continuously and with everyone and everything. The one or two things you hide behind probably represent a stack. That's why you're hanging on to them. It's not just this annoying person you hate. They represent a whole stack of that energy to you. You can't just skip over your mother-in-law. Eventually, the presence is so obvious, so startling, so overwhelming that there is no question about it. It is profound, total, all-encompassing, absolutely overwhelming, totally transforming, and completely unmistakable. When everything is surrendered that stands in the way, it is there, shining brightly forth. Instead of viewing this as something in the future, own it now. Enlightenment is not just something that occurs in the future, after 50 years of sitting cross-legged or saying Om. It is right here, in this instant. The reason you're not experiencing this state of total peace and timelessness is because it is being resisted. It is being resisted because you're trying to control the moment. If you let go of trying to control your experience of the moment, and you constantly surrender it like a tone of music, then you will live the crest of this exact alwaysness. You live on the crest of it. Experience arises like a note of music. The minute you hear a note, it's already passing away. The instant you've heard it, it's already dissolving. So every single moment is dissolving as it arises. Let go of anticipating the next moment, trying to control it, trying to hang on to the moment that has just passed. Let go of clinging to what has just occurred. Let go of trying to control what you think is about to occur. Then you live in an infinite space of non-time and non-event. There is an infinite peace beyond description, and you are home. That is the end of the book. Jamie says, thinking about anger in the workplace, I do have to laugh at the difference in what's acceptable in white collar versus blue collar. I've seen people, including myself, yell, scream, throw wrenches, etc., and not get fired. This would be completely unacceptable in an office space. Very true. It is, yeah. Just like in the military, there's some things you can do that you couldn't do in corporate. For sure. What are y'all's thoughts? Questions? Congratulations for getting through this book. Justin says, trying to type without my glasses. Is this acceptable writing? I can't tell. It is. It looks good. You actually wrote it better than when you do have your glasses on. I'm joking, but I had to do it. But yes, it is acceptable. What says you all? This was a long book. Good now, Laura. This is a laughing face. It is a laughing face, Justin. You're going to have fun with this. Good now, Madeline. Oh, man. You're going to have a whole bunch of laughs over the next 6 weeks. 6 weeks to 6 weeks to perfect eyesight. I know that was a lot to process, so I'm going to go ahead and just play the music and let y'all think a little bit. Good now, Julia. I think the speaker said, "You ain't using me, I'm turning off." Did. But at least it turns off quietly, unlike the other speaker. Who else has popped in? Alex, good now, love. Albie, good now. Al. Looks great, Justin. Thanks for trying. I love it, right? Violet, good now. I'm excited to do this book again with my therapist. Ooh, Verna, that's going to be fun. Any thoughts? And good now to the beautiful souls on YouTube. Feel free to put in the comments anything that comes to mind for you as well. I can read them. I'm already putting things into practice. I love it, Verna. Justin says, I'm going to do 4 hours without my glasses every day. Love it. Rita says, I'm a member of AA for many years, and this way, this was very helpful. Our program speaks of availing ourselves of other resources, and this was very helpful for my spiritual journey. I just ordered the book. Thank you so much. You're so welcome, Rita. Congratulations for loving on yourself and putting in the effort on yourself. I love being witness to that. Celebrating you. Yee, let's celebrate. Good now, Natesh. Celebrating. Good now, Kulbir. Rita says, hi, Verna says, hi, Rita, and congratulations. Absolutely. That's awesome. I told you. This book, I didn't realize. Wendy knew, like, the other teacher who's going to be reading this next. She knew that this book changed her life. It just went into my subconscious, and I did not realize how much I took away from it till rereading it again with you all. I'm like, oh, that's where I got that from. So it's been good. The concepts and everything. It really lines up to, if anyone else is a TM meditator here, it aligns with that as well. Well, it aligns with everything, but yeah. Anything else, my loves? Natasha, have you read this book yet? I feel like you're coming in on the end of it, but I think this book would be very supportive of the things that you're going through right now. You can catch the replays on my YouTube, and if you do catch the replays and have questions, you can post in there on the channel and I will respond. Yep. Right. I remember. That's why I say read this book. It's not fun being stressed. It's not fun being anxious. It's not fun feeling lonely. However, and there is a way to transcend all of that. This book is a great way. Transcendental meditation is a great way. Lynn says, hi, Nicole. Hi, all. May I ask, do you think the practice of allowing is similar to surrendering? If one has a very sticky brain, sometimes allowing can seem more attainable than surrendering. Yes, and someone said that earlier in the reading too. It's the wording. The wording can really mess up people's minds. So allowing, accepting, surrendering, I feel like those are all the same types of energy. So yes, Lynn, I use the word that resonates with your nervous system, and at some point none of the words they'll be all neutral to you. But yes, definitely start where you are able to move forward. Verna says, sending you healing, love, and peace, Natash. Thank you, Verna. Helen says, there's a huge amount covered in this chapter. We'll need to listen and read lots to process it all. It is a lot. I figured when I don't get responses like within a few seconds, when I ask, what are your thoughts? What are your questions? I'm like, it's a lot. A lot to process. And I said, sure, Brenda, this time really I need perfect friend and love support. It says Natash. Ellen says, namaste, Verna. Anyone else? Natash, you have more strength inside you than you realize. I do encourage you to go back through this book and then respond on YouTube if you have any questions or you run into any difficulties, and I will reply. Start there. If you don't have a therapist that you can see, definitely start there. Caitlin, did I say good now to you out loud? See your love bubble, and I remember singing it earlier, but I don't know if I said it out loud. So if not, good now, Caitlin. Jamie says, Natash, sending you love and support. Breathe in love, breathe out love. You are love. Thank you, Jamie. So change the picture. Do I see Key Cat? So what am I looking at? Laura says, I wish I had caught more of this, and I know I can check your YouTube channel out. Oh man, Laura, you might have to send that to me in a private message because I didn't read it fast enough, and YT deleted it. I mean, not YT, IT deleted it. Helen says, sending love to Natash. Wendy can give you the book PDF file. Did you get it from her yet? She's on right now, actually. So if you hop over there, she can give it to you, and she's going to be going through the book as well. Yep, I'm talking to you. So I see you changed your picture, and I was like, what am I looking at? See, it looks like a kitty. Totally forgot about that. I was just saying that I need to get the Cliff Notes version of it soon because I'm still really challenged with my broken arm and getting frustrated that my kids and friends are not really stepping up to me. I'm terrible about asking for help. Got it. Okay, Laura. Do you feel like you don't have to answer this, but what just came to mind is, do you feel like you deserve help? Or does asking for help equal weakness, incapability, or something negative in your mind? Whatever asking for help brings up for you, negative emotion wise, that is what you notice and allow to come up and go and transcend that and let that go. I get it, because I know if it were you, you'd be like, you see someone with a broken appendage and you like help. That's how you probably process things. You're like, I know that they're probably struggling and I can help them. But not everybody thinks like that. I know, like, some are like, if they don't ask, then they must be okay. That's how some people think. So definitely look in and see what's coming up for you when you think about asking for help, but also continue to ask for help. It's your new kitty Shadow sleeping with Mama Sasha. I love it. Harmony and me are pretty good company. I love it. Thank you. Justin says, going to head out. Gratitude for the book. Looking forward to the next. Have a great set. It is Sunday. It is Sunday, right? Yes. You have a great Saturday too, Justin. No, I'm joking. I know you meant that. But you know I gotta mess with you. But thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the book. Yep, I will start scheduling the ones starting July 11th. So y'all should see them come up soon. You have your glasses back on. You have them on right now because you have a typo. Have a great day, Justin from Verna. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, if y'all are complete, thank you. What is the next book? Seed of the Soul? Yep. Seed of the Soul. July 11th. Get ready. You thought this book put a mirror up in front of you. Woo. Oh, Chris, how did I miss you? Kristen, I remember when you, when I was like, I said Kristen, and you're like, a lot of teachers do that. Good now, Kristen. Big lesson I'm learning is that I should be cautious of who I ask for help. Absolutely. Absolutely. Helen, it's basically reconnecting you with your soul self. I still laugh at myself. There was another young lady who who phonetically spelled her name for me. I can't help but laugh at myself. In the middle was a knee sound, but she wrote like knee the way knee is spelled, Knee, and I was like, I pronounced it with knee. I was like, what in the world, Nicole? But whatever. Man says, thank you, Nicole. Been quiet today. Good now, all. No worries. Quiet is not a bad thing. Yep, Helen says I'm up for that. I will never put anything on here, Helen, that is not about inner mastery. That is my whole thing. You know that. So, because that's, your life is so dependent upon how you perceive things and how you are able to navigate through things in a more resilient way. So, Antara, inner, Sanskrit for inner. I know you do, Madeline. Speaking of which, you're actually the only teacher to announce my username proper. That's awesome. I love it. Yay me. I cannot guarantee that is the case all the time. Saying Madeline reminds me, I am looking for people who I'm creating. It hasn't fully come to mind yet, but I want to create a live that is for creative expression. So poetry, which Madeline's a poet, poetry, so spoken word, music, movement. I don't know, that has come to mind. It hasn't fully fleshed out in my mind yet, but if that sounds like something you would love to participate in, even art, like drawing art, because you can angle the camera, because you're going to be on live with me. If that is of interest to you, please DM me so I can gather everyone together and plan this out, and we can just party it up. So, yeah, just wanted to share that. That's all I got coming up for the most part. Of course, we have our monthly move and sit coming up in a couple weeks, in 2 weeks. So if you like to move your body, would love to have you join us. I'm sure I have the card somewhere in here. I will say this. I do want to share this. He was talking about your thoughts are not real. And I have a video about questioning your thoughts. Will you be joining Wendy's live after? I will pop in to say hello, but I have to finish my research paper because the final's due today, and I have to finish my presentation. Speaking of presentation, if anyone wants to join my presentation on Wednesday evening, you're welcome to. Just ask me. I'll send you the Zoom link. It's my capstone, end of my master's program, the presentation I have to do, oral presentation. So if you're interested in attending that, let me know as well. So I'll pop in and give her love because I love me some Wendy, but I won't be able to stay because somehow 12 o'clock turns into 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. and my brain shuts down so quickly. But thank you for asking, Laura. My master's is in consciousness and human potential, which is why this book is even more profound. I understand it on a different level than when I first read it 15, 20 years ago. What would be the Wednesday evening event look like for us? So you would get I would send you the Zoom link and you just hop on. My professor is going to have me go first because I had a couple people say they want to attend. And so you'll pop onto a Zoom link and you'll have me, you'll see me present my presentation, my oral presentation. 8 to 10 minutes long is the requirement. And then you can hop off and do whatever you need to do. But it's 8 p.m. Eastern, which I'm like, we do things so late. I know. You love? Yeah, send me a private message and I can send you the Zoom link. I'd love to have you there. But yeah, good luck on that. Thank you. I am excited about it. I'm doing it on the film industry since I'm a part owner of a production company, film and production company. So I'm doing it on the fact that the industry, there's so much stress, anxiety, depression, and how Maharishi Vedic science is a key component that can help eliminate that and increase the ability to create and be creative. So that's what that is about. And I'm excited. You should scared about final presentation for your master's. It was about narcissism. Ooh, I bet you it was good though. How did you do? Thank you, Laura. Laura says, good luck. I know you'll kill it. Did you ever have the chance to watch the documentary that my son and I created? I have not, and I'm glad you reminded me. I need to, you sent it to me directly, or did you just tell me the name of it? I know I won't be doing anything until this master's is over, which will be next week. So I'll have time to sit and do a whole lot of things that I have not been able to do, including recording more tracks for here, catching up on some other like herbal stuff and music stuff. You nailed it. Of course you did. I love that. Congratulations. Laura, can you please resend me the link? I started it and then I was in the middle of something and I know I didn't finish it. And I'm sure it's in my history, but please do. Good now, Natesh. I might not be in a position to help you. It sounds like you might be beyond my scope. I would definitely recommend sites. There are therapists on this app, actually. I would recommend reaching out to a therapist because I've shared the extent of my ability to help, and it doesn't seem to have been supportive enough. So I would definitely recommend reaching out to a therapist to start your journey through that. Awesome. All right, my loves. Let's see. Since we're still here, I will share. Because we just got the ability to share things. If y'all like story type things, I have a couple of these. I'll be creating more. No therapy help. I think I put it in the chat. It's on YT. Okay, Call Bigger Than Me. Scary People Part 2. Let me get it. I'm gonna get it right now. Getting it bigger than me. Yep. Got it. Caden, right? You too, Kristen. Thank you. And I'm also just copy. How about I just copy this in general? Thank you. I know. Breath in, breath. Yeah, breathe in, breathe out is definitely. I'm glad I caught that before it disappeared, Laura. Yes, that is a place to start. But if that's not working for you, I really want to encourage you to see someone who can offer um, offer a little bit more in depth support. Just keep in mind as you watch it that it was put together by my son when he was 17, and he has zero experience creating document. I'm not gonna judge anything done with iPhones. That's so amazing. You can make some amazing things with iPhones. Awesome. Yeah, I will. I will absolutely. I got it now. Thank you for the reminder. I really appreciate that. Yep. Keep breathing, Natasha, and bring yourself back to the present moment. I don't think mine. I did a talk also for emotional awareness. You're welcome, Laura. So maybe that can support a little bit as well, Natesh. Ciao, good luck with that finish line. Thank you, Flora. And yes, message me if y'all would like to attend. All right. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, V. All right, I'm going to go ahead and celebrate you beautiful people for doing this work. This book is not anything to sneeze at. Whether you have to catch up on it or you completed the whole thing, if I can get my balloons to come up, I want to celebrate you. Not easy work. And you continue to show up anyway. So thank you for showing up for you, because in so doing, you are and continue to show up for the world, helping raise the collective consciousness through your inner peace. Thank you for allowing me to continue with my goal of world peace through inner peace, joining me, rather, in the goal to create world peace through inner peace. And with that said, may you all create the most amazing now moments. Until I see you next time, make every moment count. Because that's all you have is this now moment, right here, right now. Awesome. Thank you, V. Thank you, thank you. All right, my lovelies. I knew what you meant. I will see you around the app. I will hop into Wendy's live briefly. Then I'll be doing some work. But yes, I will see you around the app, whether in my live or someone else's. But thank you again for being here, taking time out of your day, 2 hours that you can't get back. That says a lot. I do not take that lightly. Could have been anywhere else on a Sunday or a Monday night, Sunday night. Let me see, 14 hours ahead, depending on where you are. All right, my loves. Ciao for now. Thank you. And for those who hung out on YouTube, thank you so, so much. In case you're wondering why we say the tubular, it's Insight Timer is not a fan of directing people away from the app, which I understand, to keep their users safe. So, but thank you for being here. I'll see you next time.